Welcome to another edition of the Talking to Myself Monologues. I am your host and curator, comedian Milton Hall. And today I just got a question to ask you. For all the up-and-coming comedians out there in the world, I just got one question for you. What are you doing this for? Being a comedian is not the easiest job in the world. It can be a very lonely and dark place if you let it be that way. But it doesn't have to be like that. So I ask you again. What are you doing this for? Why did you want to become a comedian? Because your reasons on why you want to become a comedian, these reasons are going to carry you through the dark times. When the times where you don't have enough gas in your car, but you're trying to get from point A to point B to do an open mic just to sharpen your talents. The time where sometimes a promoter might give you half your money, and then when you get there and you perform, they don't have the other half of your money because of other existential circumstances. The times where you might not have enough money to rub two pennies together to make ends meet. The times where it's going to be where you don't even know where your next meal is going to come from. Some of y'all might even end up as Steve Harvey did, or even Cat Williams, and be homeless. It might even take you down that route. But whatever route you take in comedy, your reasons on why you took this journey will help you through those dark times. Not everybody's journey is going to be the same. Some people that when they get into it, they come in not expecting anything, and very early on in their career get what other comedians will look at as the world. Give you an example. Kevin Hart, if you have done any research on Kevin Hart, you know that he was given the world from a comedian standpoint at a very early age. Being able to get a development deal at the age of 20. He started when he was 18, 19, 17, 18. Having his own show by 22, 23. Having his own feature film by 24. In a relatively short time in his career, he had a lot of success, or so we thought. And then after the Soul Plane thing hit and that flop, a lot of people would consider him going downhill. But it was his reasons on why he got into comedy that made him not quit, that made him persevere. And let me also say this. If you've been in that predicament where you've had a lot of success early on, but now you feel like you're going down what is called a downward slope, you really can't even pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. Adversity will remind you of your reasons why you're doing this again. I'm not an overly religious person, but I do believe in a higher being. And one of the things that I've always heard in church was the will of God won't take you where the grace of God won't protect you. And it's kind of the same philosophy with your reasons and goals on why you're doing what you're doing as a comedian. Your will to be a great comedian will only take you so far until your reasons why you became one remind you of why you even took the path in the first place. When you feel like you don't have nothing left in the tank, it'll be your reserve fuel tank. It's going to give you that extra push when you don't feel like you got nothing left. Comedy is a lot like life. You don't know what is going to happen. All you can do is just wake up, prepare the best that you can, and then when your time is, when your name is called to be up under the spotlight, you give it all you got. But a lot like life, you can't quit. In comedy, you can't quit, man. You cannot quit. Regardless of what anybody says, you cannot quit. If this is where your heart is, if this is your heart's desire, and you know for a fact that if you did anything else in the world, you would not be happy with yourself doing that, don't quit. Do not quit. One of the images I've always enjoyed looking at, it was like two miners. Two miners, like one on the top, one on the bottom, and both picking at the mine. You know, they were both searching for diamonds. The one at the top, he's still going strong, and it looks like he's about maybe 4 or 5 strokes away, and all them diamonds are gonna fall out. But the one at the bottom, you can see that his head's down, his spirit's low, and he done gave up. But if you look at how close he was a lot closer than the person at the top. But because he didn't think he was gonna find it, he just quit. All he had was just 1 or 2 more hits, and all them diamonds was gonna pop out. But the one at the top, he still had that determination. When I saw that picture, I interpreted it like this. The person at the bottom was going at it for the wrong reasons. Because if you're going at it for the right reasons, quitting is never an option. You think about it, but you never go through with it because you know the pain of quitting is a hell of a lot worse than the pain of what if. And that person on the top, the miner on the top, I don't know what he was thinking, but in my mind, what I think that he was thinking was, I'm not gonna stop, I'm not gonna quit. I got people to feed. I got a family to look over. If I quit now, I'm gonna leave with the same thing I started with, nothing. But if I keep going, there's still a possibility that I can change my future forever. So I guess every monologue I'm noticing has a theme. And for this one, it'll be don't quit, don't give up. Nobody ever in life became successful by quitting. I saw this video by Steve Harvey, and I'm gonna share it with you. And it was the most awe-inspiring thing I ever heard of, because you see Steve Harvey now, he does Family Feud, he has his own talk show, he putting out books, best-selling books, he's putting out movies. But a lot of people don't even know the story that he was homeless for 3 years, from the age of 30 to 33. 3 years he was homeless. And might I add, the age of 30 to 33 for a man, that's when society believes that you're supposed to have your shit together. That this is the time when, you know, all your ducks should be in a row. Remember, if you are a comedian, you wanted to be a comedian, you remember that you chose this path because this is not the same beaten path that your parents or your grandparents or your great-grandparents took. You decided to deviate off that path for whatever reason. And whatever your reason is, if the reason that you've become a comedian is because of your heart's desire, understand that you're hearing it from me first, that you have made the right decision. If you are following your dreams, if you are trying to live a life that makes you happy and not a life that you want to wake up every day dreading because you got to go to work or punch in somebody else's clock, let me tell you something. You have made the right decision. Even if all else around you is failing, the walls of your empire could be crumbling down. You've made the right decision, man, and you are not alone. I repeat, you have made the right decision by following your dreams, and you are not alone. Keep fighting. Trouble don't last always. So I leave you with this. Don't quit, man. Let your reasons, your goals, your ideas, your dreams, whatever you have in you that made you decide to become a comedian, guide you. Let that be your torch and keep moving, man. Don't quit, because you're not alone. This has been comedian Milton Hall with another Talking to Myself monologue. If you have anything you want to hear me talk about, if it is in my heart to talk about the subject that you are talking about, I will talk about it. If you give me a topic and I don't talk about it that next week or that next day or the next time you hear another monologue from me, don't get upset. That means that I'm not passionate about the topic that you're talking about at that moment, because the purpose of these is not just to hear me talk or just for you to hear me talk. It's to really affect change in you and to tell you as a comedian, an up-and-coming comedian like myself, to keep going and keep moving and keep pushing, man. So don't stop. Don't quit. Keep it moving, man. And I'll see y'all at the top.